Each year, millions of Americans collectively lose billions of dollars to phone scams. And while seniors are still disproportionately targeted by fraudsters, a recent report shows another alarming trend in a new community being targeted with misinformation. That Harris poll shows Hispanics are being disproportionately targeted and twice as likely to fall victim to phone scams. We all need to be more vigilant than ever. And joining us with tips on how to help protect and empower yourself is Clayton LiaBraaten, Senior Executive Business Consultant for Truecaller. Welcome.
Laura, thanks for having me.
Now, in an era of deep fakes, AI, and sophisticated fraud technology, what are some tools people can use to help protect themselves against scams?
Yeah, I'll talk about that in a minute. I just want to emphasize that report that you talked about, $25 billion. That is a really staggering number that Americans lost to communications fraud, which we've always called robocalls or robotexts. And you're right, there are several vulnerable populations like seniors and others. But here we are, it's Hispanic Heritage Month. This is a very vulnerable population, over-targeted by the criminal fraudsters.
Now, you touched on it, but can you explain what's at play? Why is the Hispanic community being targeted and impacted so much more than others?
Well, in fact, it was a little bit striking to me when we really dug into it. We're seeing things like immigration scams, simple identity theft, and financial fraud. We're seeing things like, hey, you didn't show up for jury duty, and you may not be as familiar with the American system as others, so you have to pay us $1,200. We've seen fake DEA scams. Anytime that criminals think that somebody's vulnerable, could be a senior citizen on a fixed income, could be a minority or immigrant population, but in particularly Hispanics. This is partly because they spend a lot of time on their phones professionally and personally, as well as the fact that there may be cultural or language barriers. So there's this perception that there are nuances about the culture that make them easier to defraud.
And how can technology help with this issue?
First of all, we're analyzing the data on all the numbers in the global ecosystem, right? The behavior of those numbers, billions of calls an hour to over 400 million of our users, Truecaller users, to say there's a lot of calls coming from a few numbers and nobody's picking them up. Those are probably suspicious. You mentioned AI and deep fakes. So we have developed at Truecaller the AI call scanner that actually can tell the difference between a synthesized cloned voice and an actual human. So we're constantly 24/7 looking at all this activity. We're getting feedback saying, no, that wasn't a telesales call. That was actually an IRS scam. And so that comes back in and it makes it into our system real time so that you're using the Android app or the iOS app and you're saying, I feel much more confident that I should take that call because it's a job opportunity or it's a pharmacy. I should not take that call because Truecaller told me it's a package scam.
Now, Clayton, can you walk us through how Truecaller works?
You download it and it just starts working. It literally starts working on the next call or the next text. And in behind all that is the artificial intelligence and machine learning that give you that layer of protection. We actually have premium services that have even more advanced features like call recording or a digital assistant and those types. And those subscription services for Hispanic Heritage Month, we're running them at 25% off. And everybody, you don't have to be Hispanic to take advantage of that discount. But it's free for everyone. The more advanced features really give you some great communications management as well as the protection. Get on it, get your parents on it, get your kids on it, because any one of us can be defrauded at any time. And I'm sure, Laura, you know someone who's fallen victim to one of these scams.
I actually do, and the fallout from those scams can be so detrimental, so time consuming. Anyone who has a cell phone knows they get spam and robocalls, and that is only increasing during this political season. And to have a resource to help protect us against those phone scams is giving us peace of mind.
Yeah, I mean, I use the example, you wouldn't leave Best Buy without antivirus on your new laptop. You would not want to use an email service that didn't have a spam or phishing filter. And you shouldn't have a mobile device that you pay all this money for that you can't use because you don't answer your phone. Truecaller means you can answer the good calls and block the bad ones.
And where can we go for more information?
Go to Truecaller.com or go to the app stores and search up Truecaller one word, or point your phone at the QR code that I think you'll show on the broadcast or on the website, and you just start using it. It's that simple.
Clayton, we thank you so much for sharing this critical information to help protect ourselves and our families.
All right. Thanks. Great talking to you. And, people need to protect themselves. This is not going away.
And we thank you for joining us on San Diego Living. We'll see you next time.